Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
How you doing? Oh, Remy, say hi. She's so sleepy right now. Her so sleepies. Say hi, please. Come here. Say hi, Wimmies. Say hi. She doesn't want to. She's so sleepy right now. How you doing? How you doing, everyone? So good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options. Anywhere on the internet, anywhere in this grand world. And you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 22nd, 2025. It is currently 8:58 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all so much for joining me. I usually don't do these kind of lives, but let me know if you guys like these, and I'll do more of them. They're a little more chill. So just kind of let me know. We are talking about, I'm a huge fan of Wendy Williams. And Wendy Williams, of course, is a daytime, former daytime talk show host. And she first got her start on radio. And there's a lot going on, to say the very least. So we need to kind of talk about that. So Wendy Williams is in right now a kind of an assisted living memory care facility. And she left the other day to have lunch with a family member, and they called the cops on her. So, yes, they called the cops on her for going out to have lunch with a family member. You heard that right. So I want to. This is kind of like Free Britney 2.0, if you will. Yeah, it's there's a lot here. Now, Wendy has had substance abuse issues in the past, and she's been through a lot the last few years. Her now ex-husband, Kevin, he was unfaithful to Wendy and had a child with his new wife, or I don't know if they're wife or girlfriend or whoever she is, who was a massage therapist. He even had his name on her mailbox. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. We're going to get to all of that, but what I need you to do is hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it. Yeah. I'm pulling some stuff up here right now. The judge made some very interesting decisions, and we're going to talk about that. She has her facility where her room is. There's this big window, and how we learned about this is someone had tipped off, I guess, the paparazzi, and she threw a note down that said "Free Wendy." And they says she has frontal lobe dementia, which can be, and again, I'm not a doctor, but can be alcohol induced. If you watched her, there was a documentary, it might have been on Netflix. I can't remember who it was, maybe a year or so ago. She looked really bad, and it wasn't the same Wendy Williams. You could tell she was just there, but not there. Like, you could not It's like you couldn't get through to her. You could tell something was really, really wrong with her. And that people were concerned. People were very concerned. But now that she's sober, she seems fine. She seems so much better. And, I think the thing is just keeping her sober right now. And she's fine. Now, but people say differently. The bank froze a lot of her money. She couldn't get her money. And her son took over that for a while. That did not work very well either. Obviously, he's a young guy, and I wouldn't want, that's a lot of money to be responsible for, right? Wendy Williams makes defiant stand of freedom amid guardianship battle. This was her just recently. She's 60 years old. I saw someone in chat ask. She was out just enjoying some lunch with friends, and she hopes to be released from her court-ordered guardianship. We're going to look at some video here shortly. You're going to be like, oh my God. There is our Wendy Williams. I love Wendy. I think she's such a diva. She is very New York. And if you know anything about New York, and how you doing came about was, when you're in New York and you're with the girls, you're like, oh, how you been doing, girl? So that's kind of how it came about, and it stuck. And I always say, how you doing? So frontal lobe damage makes it hard to think, focus, remember, organize your thoughts, and sometimes hard to communicate, find words properly. Yes. Yeah. I'm big fan of Wendy Williams. Some people don't like her. But I do like her. I do like her. So she says, I'm very much alive. I deserve freedom, darling. When the reporter commented on her fit form, Williams responded, I got the liposuction and breast implants when I was 31. I'm 60 and my body holds up well. However, she was a bit shy about answering more questions about her plans to reign control in her life, referring to her advocate, Jalensa, who told the outlet, don't believe anything you read. Something's wrong with this page. This was her out the other day. I think she looks so much better. She looks better. She really does. The Wendy Williams show star won a big court battle Monday, convincing the judge overseeing her guardianship to allow her to leave the memory care facility of the assisted living facility where she has been living in the Big Apple for another area of the facility. She will be in like a private condo now. She will have much more freedom to come and go as she pleases. She'll be able to have visitors and she'll be free to leave when she wants, the insider told The Sun. So she is getting more freedom. She looks healthier. She does look healthier. Her team will also begin settlement talks for the guardianship, the source alleged. Ultimately, Wendy wants completely out of the arrangement, but there are some tests she'll have to face moving forward to see just how much freedom she will be given. She'll have to do a bunch of cognitive tests, even physical tests, probably, if that means she wants to be free from the guardianship, or if she will be granted less oversight in the future with some other legal arrangement. The insider told the Think Like a Man actress received a favorable outcome after taking some cognitive tests recently. The judge said that doesn't prove that she is, has incapacity in that she's in I can't say it. I don't know maybe I'm incapable in I think it's me. Incapacitated. I couldn't say it. It just proves that she's coherent, cognitive, and alert, they explained. Wendy will be doing another full cognitive work to determine her cognitive ability and get a neurological examination for her frontal lobe dementia diagnosis. The former talk show host was diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and dementia in 2023. Now, and I know that no, I'm not tired. It's just Lyme's disease. I think my frontal lobe is zapped too. But and I know that, especially with these rich people, you can get a diagnosis with a doctor. You go to the right doctor, you can get that diagnosis. And I don't believe she has this. I just don't believe she has this. I think she just needs to stay clean. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done when you have someone that is headstrong like Wendy, has a history of addiction, and especially has all the people and the money around her. Yep. It's fun, isn't it? So, and you don't recover from dementia. You don't recover from dementia. It is a progressive disease, and it's only downhill. Now, I think this was her recently coming out in her little scooter. Second will probably. Where's the mute button when you need it, man? Hold on 1 second so it doesn't joke me up here. Okay, here we go. Let's pop this open. It's a dementia. Man, is it ever horrible. It's
Hello, Wendy.
How
are you?
Hi. Hold on, let me
what happened in court today?
Let's she just gets around town with that little scooter, man, and you can tell she's a New Yorker the way she drives that thing.
How are you?
Hey, big mother chicken.
What happened in court today?
She's like, "Oh, how you doing?" No, ma'am. I am not telling you about my court case. Yep.
Hello, Wendy. What happened in court today?
Hi.
Everything good?
How are you? I'm Wendy right here. Wendy right here.
Can you tell us something about the court?
Now, she's a diva.
Oh, that's very fascinating, Wendy. Can you start right there for a second?
Wendy's got a body yaddy yaddy. She's got really tall. She's got like beautiful legs. And all of that. So let me show you this. Yeah, there can definitely be other things other than, alcoholism. Yes, dementia is absolutely horrible. I have not had anybody in my family that's had dementia, thankfully. Well, my great-grandmother had it, but she was 96, and I think it was some of her medicine. They took her off of it, and she was fine after that. But dementia is one of those things that, you're alive, but you're not there. And, you see your mom or your dad or your loved one. Oh, my other grandmother, my French grandmother had dementia. She did. Yeah, I forgot. She had dementia. And because we had to get her on an airplane, and that was really hard, really hard. She was cussing us off.
Judge. Oh, listen to this.
Photographers frequently crowd below Wendy Williams' window at Coterie Hudson Yards, where the 60-year-old resides in the memory care unit. One such photographer watches as Williams throws a scrap of paper from her window. Scribbled on the note, "Help Wendy." The paparazzi calls for a welfare check, and hours later, NYPD officers escort Williams out of the facility into a waiting ambulance.
Where I lived at this memory unit on this floor, I just needed a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? I needed to see the doctors. So that's why I went to the hospital.
That from our friends at ABC. I am on Wendy's side here. Why is it, if she's got a guardian watching out for her, that she has to send a note, throw it out her window, and the paparazzi get it, and they get her out with police escort? That doesn't sound right to me. Does it sound right to you that she has to throw a help me note out a window? Where's the conservator? Why is Wendy been in lockdown for all this time? Listen.
Exactly.
Wendy Williams says she feels like she's in prison as she continues her fight to end her court-appointed guardianship. As if almost on cue, Williams may have proved her point when the assisted living facility where she resides on the 5th.
Like, one of my greatest fears is just not being able to get out, and I just can't imagine, like, like a nursing home or anything like that. I mean, this woman is 60 years old. She's fine. Now, she's got to have someone to keep her sober. That's a hell of a sure thing. Someone has to keep Wendy sober. And she is a very, very hard-headed woman. She can be allegedly very, very selfish. And she's a diva. But all that said, she doesn't want to stay here. So, I don't know. After her husband, she knew her husband was cheating on her for a long time. But after that, when she knew there was a baby, the last year on her show is when all the things happened. That's when she was living in a sober facility. She was live on her, or not live, but she was on her show. And she said, I've been living in a sober, living facility. And you remember the Statue of Liberty where she was dressed and she fell down. All of that. It was crazy.
Floor Coterie calls police claiming.
Also, Wendy's mom died a while back. She's very close to her mom and her dad.
TV host has been kidnapped by her niece, Alex Finney. The report Coterie filed with the NYPD claims Finney evaded staff by taking her Aunt Wendy out of the building to eat in an Italian restaurant.
In Joining me an all-star panel,
You're right, Star.
first to Jessica Finn, joining me, senior investigative reporter at the U.S. Sun, who was at the courthouse as Wendy is battling for her freedom and got some incredible exclusive shots. Let me see those shots that Jessica Finn got. There's Wendy is walking, she's talking, she's smiling, she's flanked by friends, relatives. These are pictures from our friend joining us right now, Jessica Finn at the U.S. Sun, just taken as Wendy battles for her freedom. Jessica, I don't like this one bit, that the niece of Wendy goes and takes her out to a simple lunch, and then the assisted care facility, i.e. lockdown, actually calls the police with a kidnap claim on the niece. Are you serious?
It was a wild scene for
Very
sure.
much, you, Star.
So basically what had happened is that Wendy was just released from the hospital after being evaluated. Her niece, Alex Finney, comes to pick her up to take her back to the living facility. But on their way back, they go to dinner. And apparently the living facility decided that it wasn't approved. There was conflicting reports. Alex says that they knew that they were going out to dinner. The living facility allegedly said that this outing was not approved and at some point threatened to call the NYPD to file a kidnapping report.
Joining me, Dr. Bethany.
If you want to go, if you take her out to the doctor, of course, a lot of times when you're out, you want to go have lunch or you want to go have dinner. It's not a crime to have dinner with your family member. She's locked in this place 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not able to go anywhere. It's a prison.
Marshall, renowned psychoanalyst, joining us from the LA jurisdiction, author of Deal Breaker. You can see her now on Peacock, and you can find her at drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany Marshall, it's my understanding that you agree with the judge who seemingly continues to threaten Wendy Williams like she's...
I think, and Casey said it, the facility is worried nothing more about losing their dollars. I mean, I can't imagine the astronomical amount they are charging to take care. I mean, healthcare is ridiculous anyways, let alone a celebrity, which they, in my opinion, inflate the shit out of the prices because of she has money. And on top of that, it feels just like vultures. It feels vulturistic, in my opinion. Very much like Britney Spears. All of these people around them just pecking them to death for money.
A petulant child.
Nancy, people in cognitive decline notoriously do not realize it's happening to them. So let's hold that in the back of our minds. Sokolov is basing her decision.
M. Blanc, that would be relatively cheap. $250,000 a year. I mean, nursing homes, they charge an ass. For insurance companies, I know what they bill. They bill several $1,000s a day.
Decision on criteria, not personal opinion. Wendy Williams probably had cognitive testing, neuropsych testing, and the testing showed that she was a danger to self or others, and that she had lacked ADLs, meaning activities of daily living. The judge is looking at that criteria.
Okay, question to you.
Yes.
Did you perform a test on Wendy Williams? Did you, Bethany Marshall, perform a cognitive test on Wendy Williams?
I did not, but usually a baseline a test
so
is given initially so that we get a baseline on the patient.
So you're just speculating, are you not?
I'm speculating, yes.
Okay. So the fact that she has recently passed a cognitive test, does that mean anything to you? Or are you
Nancy,
just
we don't know
totally
that.
sucking up to a judge that is talking down to Wendy Williams like she's a 5-year-old that grabbed a handful?
1,400 a day at a resident facility, and that's base, right, Brandy? I mean, that is just being there, right? That's not including everything else, correct?
Full of jelly beans.
Hey,
And this is
Nancy,
New
it's
York
the
City as
family
well.
who said she's passed with flying
Bethany,
colors.
what?
The family, not the physician who administered the test. Have those test results been released?
To us, the media. Have you ever heard of HIPAA? You think the
Right,
judges? You think that the doctor's going to go out on the steps of Mount Sinai?
Could this woman in yellow have a heavier filter on? Could she have a heavier filter?
Which I'm very familiar with. I had all my prenatal tests there, was going to have the children there until I suddenly gave birth in Atlanta. Mount Sinai, that's where she took the test. And what do you expect her doctor to go out and say, hey, she passed, everybody? Let me go out to special guest joining us, Elizabeth McInturf, attorney specializing in guardianship issues, a partner at Selzer Gervich. Elizabeth, thank you for being with us. What can you tell me about this type of care facility where all the elevators are locked and you have to have a chaperone to take you down the elevator, and you go to lunch with your niece and suddenly they accuse the niece of kidnapping, reportedly, and call police? What about it, Elizabeth?
It sounds like very typical precautions that happen in a memory care unit where a person who has cognitive decline or cognitive abilities need to have a more structured environment with more security measures, including, preventing somebody from eloping or wandering out.
I hear what you're saying, Elizabeth, and this is your specialty. However, if what we're being told is true, and I have no reason to think it's not true, if they have to unlock the elevator and chaperone her down the elevator to her niece, that is inconsistent with them calling police and threatening to file a kidnap allegation.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like someone in a facility can just walk out, right? There is very strict security in place. They let her out. They knew she was going to a doctor's appointment. It's crazy. Justin, how'd you get in my closet without me seeing? You'll never know, Kelsey. You'll never know.
That's a criminal complaint against the niece. They had to let her down to go meet the niece. So why are they doing this? Just because Wendy Williams wants to have lunch? Let's learn a little bit more.
Feels like you're screaming for help. Are you allowed to go out?
No. In the last 30 days, I went out twice.
This sounds more like...
Okay. You can watch this free on Tubi, I believe. And I think it's called Free Wendy Williams. And this is how they did this interview. It was also on, part of it was on, what is Harvey? It's I can't even remember what it's called. The whatever thing he owns, the paparazzi thing, TMZ. Thank you, guidance. You can watch a lot of it on there.
In the last 30 days, I went out twice.
This sounds...
I mean, look how good she's there. Look,
in the last
there.
30 days, I went out.
She looks great. She looks like freaking a young Tina Turner there. She's flipping her hair, honey. Oh, how you doing? She looks great.
Twice.
She's got her lipstick on, honey. She's got the bangs in the eyes. How you doing, girl?
This sounds more like a prison than independence.
I want my rights back. I want my freedom back.
TMZ presents Saving Wendy, now streaming on Tubi.
That was our
she's
friend Harvey
60.
Levin at TMZ. They've got a new documentary
Got it
on
going on.
TMZ, Saving Wendy. You know, when I listened to her
Look at that.
documentary,
Look at that. That's pain. That's pain right there. You can tell that is pain.
on TMZ, Saving Wendy. You know, when I listened to her speaking very coherently, I agree with Harvey. I think this is wrong. And she is having to launch a major legal battle.
It is wrong.
What, to go have lunch, for Pete's sake? And
Yeah.
submitting herself not only to testing at Mount Sinai, which, according to her and
Very true,
others,
Crystal.
she passed. So why is she still going to be moved to a restrictive condo? I mean, did you hear where she's been at the care facility? No personal belongings or electronics. She cannot receive calls, cannot leave her room without a staff member unlocking the door. Visitors have to be pre-approved. In other words, they want to give the appearance they want you to see before you get in to see your loved one. And to top it all off, I don't like the way this judge is talking down to Wendy Williams and
Preach it,
basically
girl.
threatening her, saying things like,
This is the judge. This is her.
and I quote, "I've always contended that Williams be given the independence she can handle.
Yes.
I really judge since when were you a shrink? I question how well she has handled the independence she has been given." Really? What did Wendy do wrong? Have a plate of pasta? You don't like that, judge? And she goes on to threaten Wendy, stating to the lawyer, "Tell your client if she wants a jury, she should refrain from trying to poison the jury pool." Ruh-roh. Sounds like somebody's impinging on Wendy Williams' freedom of speech. Oh,
I agree. Now we do know that she now had a major win in court Monday. Now she's going to get more of like a condo type living facility, not a room, right? And she will be given much more freedom. She'll be able to go and leave when she pleases. More of an assisted living. Yes, Brandy. Which is great. It's not everything she wanted. It's certainly not. She wants to be able to go and leave when she choose. You know, she wants to live a normal life. And I don't believe she has this dementia personally. I really don't. I think they got a doctor to slap it on her, the diagnosis on her. We all know you go to any doctor long enough or find the right doctor, they'll diagnose you.
oh, there's that pesky little
Especially, well, never mind. I'm not gonna say.
Bill of Rights, judge. Who does this judge think she's talking to? Listen.
After a successful trial run of The Wendy Williams Show, the talk show is broadcast internationally and garners 2.4 million daily viewers. Williams trades off with Ellen DeGeneres as the #1 female daytime television host for years. The Daily Show runs
It
for
is
12
flickering.
years straight, while Williams starts her own reality TV production company with her manager and husband, Kevin Hunter.
Oh, did I just hear husband, manager? Wait, just
I mean, Kimbo, I mean, I think she is an alcoholic. I really do. I mean, she's made it clear that she's an alcoholic in the past. She's also suffered with alleged Coca-Cola and crack, allegedly. Which I don't think she's doing that anymore, but she made no bones about it that she did it many moons ago. And, I think she should be absolutely free, but that goes with there needs to be placement, something in place for her to stay sober. Requirement. Yeah. Yeah. You are exactly right. Bruce Willis has family that cares for him. Where Wendy's family? Where is Wendy's family? Yeah. Bruce Willis has the frontal lobe dementia as well. Now, if she starts drinking and using, then she needs to go back. Whatever's going to keep her healthy. I think she should be able to go out and stuff during the day. I think she should be able to go live her life, but she has to stay sober. Mom passed at 72, got early onset from sugar. I'm so sorry, Carol. It's
Jessica
terrible.
Finn, senior investigative reporter, U.S. Sun, who got those awesome photos of Wendy going to court. Jessica, they're at the courthouse when this goes down.
Karen, that's a great point. And again, none of us are doctors, but she makes a great point. Wendy's has hyperthyroidism. In severe cases, hyperthyroidism can cause psychotic symptoms such as hallucinations and delusions. She also has I can't think of it right now, where you have the water retention in your feet. I can't.
Husband, you mean the guy that took all that
Lymphedema.
money from the Wendy Williams show? Him, the one that was having a years-long affair with what was a
Edema.
masseuse,
Yeah.
and then had a baby, living 9 or 10 miles away from Wendy. I
Yeah.
think he even had his
Edema. It can be very painful as well. I think she's one of the spokesperson for the Lymphedema or Edema Foundation.
name on her mailbox. That guy, that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, they are actually still fighting it out in divorce court over money he claims he's owed partly as executive producer for the Wendy Williams show. There was a stipulation in their divorce that he was going to get basically a severance package from Wendy. And then once Wendy was put into this guardianship and the bank took over her accounts, Wells Fargo shut down her accounts, his payments stopped. So they're actually back fighting it in divorce court. And Kevin's been in part not only trying to get his severance payments to resume, he's also been really trying to get access to Wendy's financial records. And in part, I think what he hopes that's going to show is what is happening with her money since she's been placed in the guardianship. So while Kevin is always
a moment. Didn't he, Jessica, give up any rights to get all up in her money when he cheated on her with that girl and had the baby? And Wendy's
Tell him, Nancy. Can we get an amen up in here? Can we get an amen or an a woman up in here? Yes, ma'am.
The one making all the money, working. I've been on her show several times. That woman worked like a mule and was surrounded by people, parasites, sucking all her money. Every time I went, everybody around her was just kicked back, lounging, having a latte while she's out there working. Now, why would he get access to her money?
Well, he was the executive producer for the show, and he did a lot of work behind the scenes. Right, exactly, absolutely was. And so, in their divorce agreement,
he ended up.
Well, the you make, yeah, the edema I think is from blood pressure. It can be if I don't walk a lot, like if I sit at the desk too much in any particular day, my cankles swell. Kevin is having the life he deserves. Yeah. A severance package. He needs his package severed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Yeah. Survey said, yes, he needs his severance. His package severed is what he needs. Oh, you're killing.
All
Mhm.
that when he started having sex with a mistress.
But in their divorce agreement,
Nancy.
there was an agreement for him to continue to get severance money from Wendy's estate. And so while, yes, absolutely, I understand the idea that because he did have a baby with another woman, that you would think that they would stop, but this was part of their divorce.
Yes. They can give you the blood pressure medicine. It's got the diuretics in it. That'll help as well. Those socks are
Left out the
And part
cheating
of the-
part,
They're bad.
Jessica.
I don't like socks.
He
It's
did have
like
a baby with
to
another
make
woman.
hear you say
No.
it, Jessica Finn. They went to Walmart and brought home a baby. That's not how it happened. He's
that is
married
1,000%
to Wendy, getting all that money, and
Tell
there
him.
he is sleeping with somebody else and has a baby.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%. That is exactly
Tell
why
him,
they got
Mari.
divorced, because
Tell
of the
him.
baby. That is 1,000% what happened. But they worked together. So that is why I believe that's why it's in their divorce agreement, because they did work together. They built the brand together.
I believe, Jessica Finn, that you have gone so far as to refer to her husband, the one that cheated and had the baby with the massage therapist, as an unsung hero.
Yeah, this is not the public opinion that people would think of.
Now, I got to, as much as I don't like Kevin, I do agree with her on this. Some of it. Listen to what she says.
But quite frankly, Kevin really kept the wheels on the track during Wendy's time on the show. He was the one that made sure that she was up and ready to tape and doing the right thing, despite the fact that she was very much involved in alcoholism at that point. And Wendy, from everything that we've learned, knew about Sharina. She knew about the other woman for many years before Kevin had a baby with Sharina. So she looked the other way. So while everybody was blindsided when Kevin had the baby, and the public was blindsided when Sharina had the baby, and Wendy did file for divorce based on that, she had known for years that Kevin had this woman on the side. And Kevin really, again, did keep the wheels going on the track. And once Kevin was out of
That is true. Kevin did keep the wheels on the track. They were together many, many years, and Kevin kind of kept Wendy disciplined, which truthfully a lot of stars need. They're not very disciplined people. So they need someone to make sure that they're up at the right time, make sure that they are where they need to be, the events that they need to go to keep the money coming in.
the picture, it was really hard for Wendy to keep the show going without having that kind of firm hand and direction and keeping her grounded. And that's essentially what happened in season 13. Everything went to poop and she wasn't even able to film. She wasn't able to attend the taping.
Well, let me be clear. The ex-husband has not been charged with any crime or any wrongdoing or any taking of her money that was not part of a contract. Let's just be very clear about that. You know, I'm just very curious also with all these people that, quote, were working with her. They didn't notice that she was getting sick, or was she?
In 2017, Williams passes out during a taping of the show, and in the following years fills months of several seasons with guest host due to struggles with her health issues.
Costume contest, we do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
Has anyone ever passed out or almost passed out before? Put a 1 in the chat if you have ever passed out or almost passed out. It's, yes, worst feeling ever. It's the worst feeling ever. Oh, it is. It's very scary because you see darkness. It just kind of goes in. And it is very scary. You can't control it. Cannot control it. This was years ago. Years ago. 20 years ago or more. I was at work and I went to roll out a carpet. And the next thing I know, I wake up in an ambulance. Out. It happens. It happens. It kind of looked like a stroke. I don't know. She said it was the hot lights and all that. I mean, yes, the lights are hot. Yes, the costume's hot. Yes, wigs are hella hot. But it seems like it was more than that. It seems like it was more than that. You know what I mean?
From our friends at the Wendy Williams Show. Day long, whether it's
in prison. I'm in this place where the people are in their 90s and their 80s. I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner right here on the bed. All right, I talk on the phone.
They said you're cognitively impaired, and
Ori, I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit of a sick humor too, and when she just goes down, I laugh too. I do. I laugh too. Yeah, because it's just like, first of all, she's dressed like the Statue of Liberty. The first part where she's like, this is not funny, but when she falls, she's just out. She's like, and it's queen down with a broken heel.
you're incapacitated.
Do I seem that way?
No.
You've been calling me 5 times a day for the last 2 weeks.
It's very dramatic. How else could Wendy Williams do it? I'm sick too, Justin. What's wrong with us? I think we're different people. We're into, I mean, to absorb as much true crime as we do, I think we have to be a little bit than someone.
No, you don't seem that way.
You are hearing Wendy
Oh God,
on
Tracy.
the phone at the Breakfast Club speaking to Charlemagne the God. Okay, Bethany, should I
Nancy,
believe
just-
you or my lying ears?
Me, because I'm a professional, and just because
You
she
see, Nancy?
sounds intact doesn't mean she is. I think she's a danger to self and others
It
when
is.
she goes out. I think the reason Wendy is in lockdown
It's okay to
is that
admit
she
it.
makes poor choices when she goes out. Prefrontal temporal dementia is a progressive disease. Okay. So it means that at the beginning, the person can look intact even when they're having cognitive decline. And the reason she's in an old folks home is those are the places that have memory care facilities. You start when you're at the beginning of dementia and you graduate to the memory care unit. So it is an appropriate place for her.
To Jessica Finn joining me, senior investigative reporter, U.S. Sun. What exactly have been her diagnoses that we've been told anyway?
Okay, so we know that she's been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. And that
Karen, I did not know that.
diagnosis came sometime in 2023. That was a diagnosis that was released by her guardian,
He's 60,
basically in
Judy.
response to the Lifetime documentary, Where is Wendy Williams? Now, before that, at the U.S. Sun, we were able to confirm that in 2019, Wendy Williams was diagnosed with alcohol-related brain damage. And that diagnosis happened during a rehab stay in Delray Beach, Florida in 2019. And that was a diagnosis that was given to her along with her husband at the time, Kevin Hunter, and her son, Kevin Hunter Jr. And the doctors warned her that if she continues to drink, she will continue to lose her memory. She will continue to lose her cognitive functioning. And as we know, Wendy continued to drink despite the diagnosis. Now, you know, here we are. We have this frontal temporal dementia diagnosis, which is what Bruce Willis has. It's a degenerative disease. But Wendy seems very, very fine. So it's very hard to really believe that the frontal temporal dementia diagnosis is actually correct and accurate.
I've got so many questions right now, but Dr. Kendall Crowns joining me, renowned medical examiner joining us out of Tarrant County, that's Fort Worth, never a lack of business there. Esteemed lecturer at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU, has performed literally thousands of examinations. By the way, you were seeing pictures from Jessica Finn joining us right now from the U.S. Sun, who was there, camped out at the courthouse when Wendy went there to fight for her freedom. Dr. Kendall Crowns, got a question regarding the frontal temporal dementia and the alcohol-related brain damage. All allegations. First of all, frontal temporal dementia. Do you get that from blows to the head? I was just thinking about Bruce Willis and all the stunts he performed.
So you can get it from chronic brain trauma, but one of the main things is chronic alcoholism, which is alcohol is a neurotoxic, or it's a poison to your brain. And long-term
Are those
alcohol
two the
abuse
same
can
things?
result.
Hold on. I don't want to mix apples and oranges. Look, you're the renowned medical examiner. I'm just a trial lawyer. So can I address one and then address the other, or are they one and the same? The frontal temporal dementia and the alcohol-related brain damage. Are they the same thing?
Frontal temporal dementia and alcohol-related brain damage can be, frontal temporal dementia can be associated with chronic alcohol abuse. And what you're talking about
she may have gotten that frontal temporal dementia from alcohol abuse. It's possible to get it from that, not just blows to the head. Okay.
So blows to the head, you have to remember with blows to the head, it's a chronic, like you take multiple times, you're getting hit in the head over a long period of time. It isn't something you get from just a couple bumps to the head. It's a lot of repetitive blows to the head.
So she could get that from alcohol?
Yes, I would think it was more likely than not her chronic alcohol abuse.
I don't know. I had a problem. I've got a big problem, Dr. Kendall Crowns. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. What I'm saying is, okay, we see it with Britney Spears, right? She got out of her conservatorship.
That's all
and
it
what
is.
does she do? She immediately strips down naked and starts twirling around on Instagram. So what? Okay, there she is.
Work, girl,
Keep that top
work it.
on. All right, this is G-rated, Britney. That's on Britney's official Instagram page. Sometimes she comes out dancing and all you can see is like a little pasty flower over her nipples and private parts. That's her business. If she wants to twirl around naked on Insta instead of making millions and millions of dollars doing the same thing on a Vegas stage, that's her business. If Wendy Williams wants to go out with her niece and have a glass of wine, nobody said a bottle of wine, have a glass of wine, that's her business. And then this judge jumps up and says, I have always contended Williams will be given the independence she can handle. I question how well she has handled the independence she has been given. Really?
Yes. Let me just say something, just because you just mentioned that, Eileen. I do believe it's the real Britney Spears. However, Britney's mouth is different than when she was younger. In her eyes, but her mouth is different. It's totally different. I don't like. I don't know. Her teeth are spacing apart. I think it's probably, in my opinion, some hard drugs. Uh, her mouth is different. I don't know. I think she used a lot of uppers. Here we go. Here we go. My second live today, and she's late. Girl mom to the office, please. You're being paged. Girl mom to the office, please. Or you're being paged. We need a late slip for the girl mom. Thank you so much for joining us. Not that this is my second live today. Not that, we're portable. Not that you can't take us in the car. You can't drag us around your home while you're cleaning. None of that. None of that. I'm just, who am I? Nothing. No. No. Kelsey to the office, please. You're being paged. Kelsey to the office, please. You're being paged. We need a late slip for Kelsey. Who's Justin? Nobody cares about her.
Is that your business that she had a glass of wine with her niece? I don't know.
You don't
Dr.
want
Kendall
me to take me
Crowns,
portable?
about these diagnoses because
It's on.
it's hard for me
It's
to
on, Joe.
believe that she has advanced dementia when she carries on extensive conversations, sua sponte, spontaneous, not rehearsed, which you
Tina's upset she never gets a late slip. Tina to the office, please. You're being paged. Tina to the office, please. You're being paged. Tina gets 200 late slips. Tina gets 200 late slips. Thank you.
can, try to read lines, but when you're having like a fluid conversation like we're having right now, you have to think with all cylinders. She conversed with Harvey Levin. That
Yeah, yesterday
super
it was
smart.
a night.
That's not easy
It
to
was a
do.
night.
She conversed with Charlemagne the God, also super smart. And what I observed with my own eyes is that whenever I was around Wendy, she was smarter than anybody else in the room. And I don't like thinking they've got their hands in her pocket. How do I know she's got dementia? Dr. Crowns?
Lucky
Well, I
you,
mean, you
Kimbo.
are just noticing one aspect of her personality. She's able to carry on a conversation. You don't know what else is going on in her life that other people have noticed, say, cognitive decline. One function of her brain may still be going on. Hey, I'm not diagnosing her, and I have no problem with her being released to her own recognizance because, my job is dependent on people doing dumb things and dying. So I'm okay with whatever is occurring. But I'm just giving you what
I
is
don't like where
happening
you're
in her
going
life.
with that, Crowns. Hi.
Love wins. Just to let you know, that was not a dream. That was last week. You woke up and we were getting you out of the floor. You're welcome.
Hi, guys.
She's been these independent results. I would be very disappointed and I would be very concerned if the judge has an issue with those tests.
That's from our friends at Fox 5 in New York. And you're hearing Gina Monterosso claiming that Wendy had the test and she's not incapacitated.
Kimberly says nursing homes are not the best choice. Nursing homes are the family's last resort. I was sole caregiver for my dad during dementia and the last of his life. Yes, Kimberly. Yes. I took care of my mama till the day she died. My grandmother raised me, and her children were going to put her in a nursing home, and there was no way in hell I was going to put her in a nursing home personally. The only way I told her that she would ever go to a nursing home is if she had dementia and she didn't know where she really was. Because I just couldn't do it. Because my grandmother, she was fine in her mind. It was her body. Either your mind goes out and your body's fine, or your body's fine and your mind goes out. One goes first. And it's thank you, Lisa. Yeah, she passed at our home. Yeah, I'm still having another live. Yep. And that's when my twins were little. So I had 3 kids and my mama, and my oldest one was, big enough to walk. And then I had a double stroller in one hand and a wheelchair in the other. That was so hard. So hard. But I just could not put my mama in a nursing home. There's no way. Yes, everyone, your kids. Yeah. I will haunt my kids. I will haunt my kids if they put me in a nursing home. I mean, if I'm out of my mind, I don't really care. I don't really care if I'm out of my mind. But if I'm in my mind and I die, they won't get a break. They won't get a break. I will haunt them like they don't even know. You put me in a nursing home. Home one day before her 50th, she was paralyzing stroke in her brainstem. I mean, I think there's times, of course, whenever there's situations, there's times where nursing homes are absolutely needed. But I think there's also times where some family members, they just don't want to deal with their loved one, to be quite honest with you. They don't want to be bothered. And those are the ones that's really sad to me whenever like old people don't get visited. They're just left in there and they're forgotten. It's so sad. Yeah. Yeah. Michelle, you're funny. My mom lives with me for 6 years. The last 2 with Louis. Oh. Yeah, Louis bought it. That's what Robin Williams had too. Oh.
Williams chimes in. I pass with flying colors. Rosanna Scotto, our friend in New York, says, I know. And the medical advocate, Gina Monteroso, goes on to say they are independent results. I would be very disappointed and very concerned if the judge has an issue with those tests. But of course, the judge does. Listen.
They
A
sure do,
source
Janine.
says while Judge Sokoloff approved the talk.
You're so right, Janine. Caregivers deserve more respect and assistance. There isn't enough support for them. That is the truth. And just caring for a loved one in your home is hard, right? It's hard physically, but emotionally, it's draining. It's draining as It's terrible. It is so hard to see your parent decline. It's very, very hard. Isn't it up to the doctor? Isn't what up to the doctor? I don't know what you mean. I've been seeking out a caregiver support group. Only problem is you have to leave a home. No time for that. Yeah. It really is. It really is. Yeah. Gene Hackman, wife, dad, taking care of him allegedly. Yeah. I mean, to be like an elderly person taking care of another elderly person, that would be crazy hard. That would be very hard.
Show host moved to an unsecured floor. She was not convinced that Williams' tests at Lenox Hill proved that she is not incapacitated. Sokoloff reportedly said the tests only showed that Williams was coherent, cognitive, and alert. Williams will have to undergo a full cognitive workup and neurological examination.
Jessica Finn, senior investigative reporter, U.S. Sun, who was camped out at the courthouse to greet Wendy Williams. So the judge is still not happy with what Lenox Hill said?
I'm sorry, Judy. I was in the same
Yeah,
position.
the judge basically said that this was not enough. This cognitive test was just to make sure she was coherent. The test included questions like, who is the president? What is your birthday? What's your full name? These were really basic questions, and it was a 10-question test. And it didn't delve, according to the judge, it didn't delve deep enough into Wendy's diagnoses to really give an accurate, full picture of what Wendy is dealing with. In the coming weeks, it sounds like the judge is going to be having her do another more extensive, thorough psychological evaluation to determine exactly where Wendy's cognitive abilities are at this point.
That's beautiful, Terry.
And see, if how that's going to change the guardianship, because it's going to change the whole nature of the guardianship. It could get her out of the guardianship if she does really well. She could end up in a less restrictive situation. She could end up with a different guardian. So this next test is really going to be the big moment for Wendy, and to see how her guardianship is going to go moving forward.
Joining me now is Ashley Wardlaw,
I hope that was a
PI, private investigator,
that a
chief
joke?
operation officer at Nathan's Investigation, and has extensive experience investigating conservatorship issues. Ashley, thank you for being with us. This is very concerning to me, and I'll tell you why. If Britney Spears and Wendy Williams have to fight tooth and nail to get out from a conservatorship, what about the rest of us regular people? How can we get out of it if we're wrongfully put in a draconian or harsh conservatorship where you can't even get phone calls? Your room is
Sorry,
locked.
loved
You have to
ones.
throw
That's tough.
notes out for a stranger to find to help you get out.
Yes, Nancy, things like this happen quite often where PIs get hired by families or other concerned individuals who want us to investigate, the well-being of this person that's being held. In a case like this for Wendy in particular, I think a private investigator would need to think outside the box because this is very complex. Okay, so we don't only do surveillance. We actually
Yeah,
conduct
census
undercover
all.
visits at these
Sorry.
facilities to see,
It's tough.
if she's being mistreated, if she's being denied, certain things. We also investigate or do surveillance on her when she's going out to show that, she's capable of making decisions and taking care of herself. But you don't limit the surveillance to only one person. You have to keep your mind open because it could be other individuals who may have a hand in this. And you don't want to leave any stones unturned, okay? You might miss the golden ticket to actually save Wendy. So as a PI, you look at the lifestyles of people who are close, near to her, or who might have a hand in this whole ordeal. What was your lifestyle before this happened, this whole ordeal? And what is your lifestyle now? Okay. You also want to look into finances. Okay. Were you living a lavish lifestyle before this, or are you living?
When my grandpa got cancer, we watched him go from 350 pounds to 100 every day. I visit him with my 4 kids, and my parents home. He was an amazing. Taught me so much. Yeah, it's cancer. Cancer is devastating to watch. It's devastating. After I took care of my grandmother, and a few years later, my father-in-law, who was the healthiest man I knew. Oh, if Eileen, oh God, actually didn't got timed out. If you can, this may sound crazy, but if you can re-time Eileen out to like a minute. Okay. You fixed it. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. We got you, Eileen. So sorry. It was an accident. But my father-in-law, he was the healthiest man I knew. His father lived to be over 100. I think it was like 102 when he died. And his mom lived to be 96. He was here visiting, and he started getting a little cough, and he was getting ready to go on his flight back. He went back, and the next thing he knows, he can't breathe. And so he goes to the hospital. His lungs are filled up with water, completely filled up with water. And so they drained it, and they found lung cancer. This is a man who never smoked a day in his life, not a puff on a cigarette or anything. Never has even had a drop of alcohol to his tongue. Exercised every day, lived a very healthy lifestyle, ate organic, golfed every day, just the epitome of, he was a boxer when he was younger. Always very, very healthy. And he had lung cancer. And where his lung cancer was, it was in between the 2 lungs where kind of like the tubes meet. It's inoperable. And you're going to bed, Blue Eyes. Good night, darling. And we instantly brought him here. We took care of him. And just watching his decline was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And 2 weeks after he was diagnosed, my mother-in-law found a lump on her breast. And she went in. She had cancer. So we took care of both of them. And I literally was at doctor's appointments every single day. Radiation, chemo, specialist, this doctor, that doctor. It was crazy to take your mother and your father-in-law, who I love with like my parents. Literally. In fact, I was closer to my father-in-law than I ever was my dad, which he died when I was really young. But so that's probably why. But anyway, it was horrible. It was horrible. That's the lung cancer my mom had suffered for 2 years. Yeah. There was a medication that gave him a good probably a year and a half, 16 months or so. And then after that, the medication stopped working. Only one in my whole family to ever have cancer. Really, Robin? Wow, honey. I am sorry. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's I don't know. You know, he was very high ranking in the military at one point, and you know, I don't know if that had something to do with it or what. But, you know, we lost him. And my mother-in-law, thankfully, she's healthy and doing good. So, but we miss him a lot. All right, let's continue with this.
A lavish lifestyle now. So the main concern a PI would have is she being treated fairly, and also investigating those individuals who might have a hand in this whole ordeal. Is this something that's being orchestrated? What evidence can we get as a PI to help save Wendy?
Synthetic pain medicine is it's just a pain medicine is all it is. Pain medicine is, I mean, pretty much all pain medicine is synthetic now. You know, it's all made in a lab. So people with cancer suffer longer in that horrible. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Thank you, Love Wins.
You know, what you just said, Ashley Wardlaw, is very convincing. You have to look at her lifestyle before, her lifestyle now. You have to look at other people that are injecting themselves into Wendy's situation. Do they have a dog in the fight, skin in the game? Does it benefit them for her to stay in lockdown or in a
Bingo.
controlled environment? Guys, you were just seeing pictures from our friends at
And that's very true, right? You've got to see how Wendy was prior to when she was living her normal life to how she's living now, who has the skin in the game, like Nancy just said, and if that is affecting it any. Very well stated. Once let everyone know bladder and bowel health is essential. That it is, Joe. Yes, that it is. My dad was 81 and very active, and all of a sudden he's slowed down, got diagnosed. Oh, 2 months later, flickery. Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's good chocolate gravy. That's good. She's in a care living facility, not jail. Why no freedom to come and go? Well, now Tar, she's thankfully she's still in a care facility, but it's more like a condo. So fentanyl is a synthetic painkiller. Yeah, that's why it's so powerful. Yep. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll be back here in just a few minutes. We'll be talking about Sebastian Rogers. So make sure you join us for that. I love you all and appreciate you. Much love, everyone. See you guys in just a few minutes. Much love. Bye bye.